Welcome back, Wayward Souls, to the Double Tap In, episode 78. And who knows what the fuck we're talking about today?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I do know that I'm still in the inside studio at the Double Tap In, not on the outside, because, it's not 7 or 8 degrees today, but it's still a little chilly, and I want to be able to pee later without having to tie a string around my dick and snatching him out when it's time.
Yeah, or pissing all over yourself.
Exactly right.
Yeah. You got enough laundry to do as it is. You don't need to add more to it for no reason.
That's right. 100%.
Yeah. So, cheers, buddy. It's been a while.
Cheers. It has. And thanks to the weather, threw a wrench into everybody's plans. But, hey, we've unwrenched it, and here we are.
Yeah. Everybody's plans and everybody's mental health. Holy shit.
Chew. Right?
Rachel was going to bed last night, and she started with, like, the sniffles, and she's like, I don't feel good. I'm like, oh, great. And this morning I was like, how you feeling? I feel better. Like, she's sniffly. She's coming down with something like everybody else. Yep. I was like, well, that's good, because if you weren't, like, you don't have to go to work, but you can't stay here today. Like, everybody's getting the fuck out today.
Yep.
Not happening. So.
Yep. And did you run through the house with Lysol and spray everything down when she left?
Not yet. Not yet. That's our house for the past 7 days. Right. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, for like the last 7 days has been an absolute train wreck. Just fucking toys everywhere, like laundry piling up. Like the days when nobody's here are the days that I try and like keep up and put shit away.
The house. You fuck it up, you got to unfuck it. So
yeah. And I'm not complaining. I'm incredibly fortunate to have 2 happy, healthy kids and an amazing wife that, like, it is what it is. Like, the reason the house is because we're living.
Yep.
But holy shit. My goodness. It took me an hour and a half, and I'm still not done putting toys away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I remember those days.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, where the fuck? Like, I didn't even know we had this toy. Where the fuck did this come from? I'm picking shit up and I was like, oh, that's an excellent choking hazard. Let's throw that the fuck away. Like, who got us this? I'm gonna send it so that I'm gonna save it for when they have little kids. I can send it back.
Re-gift it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
goodness. So you've been on social media and you've seen what the state of Maryland is doing today, which is what is today? The 28th of January.
Yeah.
They're voting today on making some traffic laws instead of primary offenses, secondary offenses. And I find that offensive. And I'll tell you why.
Well, hang on a second. So there are some of us, and I have a limited understanding, difference between primary and secondary offenses.
So when we talk about traffic law, a primary offense you can be stopped for. It is, and I'm just going to use for an example, driving at night without your headlights. The number one reason driving at night without your headlights is because you're fucking drunk. It proven statistically, it's a proven fact. So as of right now, you can be stopped for that as a primary offense. Speeding, primary offense. Okay. That sort of thing. Well, Maryland.
What about driving past like a Worcester County sheriff with my ass hanging out the window? Bare ass hanging out the window.
So it depends if they can see your cock and balls or not. So if they can see your cock and balls, then that is I can't think of the word that I'm looking for right now. But anyway, that's a violation.
So just ass.
Just your ass, and you can't see the asshole, your balls, or your cock, you're fine.
Oh, good. Good to know.
Yeah.
When's that work? So
pick the right deputy and video that shit, because it would be fucking hilarious. So anyhow, Maryland is voting to make several things, such as littering. If you can throw a garbage bag out the window and it's not a primary offense, this is what they're voting on. Having headlights, not having your headlights on at night is no longer they're being voted on not to be a primary offense. And there's several others that are absolutely ridiculous. That they want to remove from being a primary offense, secondary only, which means that they have to find another violation to stop you for in order to cite you for these offenses. Timothy McVeigh, you know who that is?
Mm-hmm. He was Oklahoma City, right?
That's correct. He was an Oklahoma City bomber. Do you know how he got caught?
Driving with headlights off. Is that right?
Tag light.
Oh, okay.
He did not have the rear license plate illuminated. And the trooper that stopped him used that as the reason for the stop. And through investigation, realized who he was, and the rest is history. So while it may not seem like a big deal having these, and I might even call it driving without headlights at night, that's really dangerous. So that is what it is. This whole Democratic controlled Maryland House and Senate is bullshit. You look at our governor right now, who blew through $5 billion with a B in surplus that was left for him. We're now in debt to some billion, and they're raising over 300 taxes in the state of Maryland. That's everything that's going on right now in the House and Senate. They want to charge us 75 cents for every online order that we do, regardless of vendor. In addition to sales tax, in addition to everything else, they want an additional 75 cents. A friend of mine who is handicapped, that's how she shops.
Right.
So she's going to be penalized because she can't leave the house, and she has to have Amazon and Walmart delivery and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's some horse shit.
Yeah.
To make up for your mismanagement of funds.
Yeah. And how do they know? You know, like, how the fuck do you track that?
Same as with taxes. You know, they know you're in Maryland, so they're going to charge you the 6% tax. It's the same thing. It's a sad state of affairs, and everybody thinks our governor is going to be the next president. God, I hope not.
Yeah.
He's being touted as the next president of the United States. And
well, that's fucking scary. He went through what, $7 billion in
it. Yeah. Well, they're saying it's more like 10 because of what the surplus that he was left, plus the general fund, plus all this stuff. So they're saying it's more like 10 billion. But we can't live like this.
No.
That's absolutely ridiculous. The entire state of Maryland is controlled by 3 counties in the state of, and the city of Baltimore.
Yeah.
And they're a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah.
And it is driving me nuts. I can't wait to get the hell out of here. And that is just about as frank as I can be.
I think you could be more frank, but
yeah, but then I'd be Frankenstein, and
yeah,
it is what it is. There,
it might be good for ratings.
It might be, and also might get us canceled by the FCC.
Yeah, big mites.
Yeah. But the only good thing out of today is I'm sitting in my house and I can smell the French onion soup coming from the kitchen. And I know we talked about this pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
I've done my morning routine. I don't need anything to eat, but damn it, it smells good. And I know what's coming. So,
yeah. So we've been making this Italian sausage and ditalini or diatalini, whatever, little asshole pasta.
Yeah.
And the kids love the pasta, and the soup is just fantastic. It's super easy. It's 4 cups of a chicken broth, a cup of heavy cream. It calls for Parmesan cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we found in making it is that when it's supposed to be melting down, it doesn't actually melt. It just all clumps together.
Yes.
So we said, fuck that. And I put half a brick of cream cheese in it.
Oh,
So you still get that creaminess
yes.
without the clumpiness. A can of diced tomatoes and a pound of sausage. Yeah, I think that's it. All in one pan. Like you brown your sausage in that same pan. You diced onion, garlic, saute that, and then you add in your broth, your cream, your tomatoes that are drained, and bring it all back up to a temperature. 10 minutes before you serve it, you throw your pasta in, let that boil, and it's fantastic.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I changed my recipe up. This onion recipe, I changed it up because we talked about before in an episode. I used 9 pounds of onions, Vidalia and red, and I do beef broth, and I do this and I do that. Well, I got thinking after that episode that I said I have to drain off a lot of liquid. As I'm going, the onions cook down, it fills the crock pot, and I have to drain liquid off. So I said, well, if it's producing its own liquid, I'm just going to add a stick of butter like I normally do. I'm going to add better than bouillon and dump the onions on top of that and just let them create their own broth, which is exactly what I did.
Cool.
And I'll also only use 7 pounds of onions and not the 9 pounds. But that is what it is. And that might be, I haven't had to drain a drop.
That might be the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. So my recipe for this is 1 stick of butter, 2 tablespoons of the beef better than bouillon, the 7 pounds of onions. It was 4 pounds of Vidalia, 3 pounds of red. I added 4 bay leaves, some Worcestershire, salt, and pepper. Sorry, no salt because that's in the bouillon, but added pepper and a little bit of garlic. And stirred it up, did all that good stuff. And I put it on yesterday about 3:00 in the afternoon. When Jennifer got home, they had started to reduce. She got home about 9 last night, 8 last night, something like that. They had started to reduce. The smell was getting there, but they hadn't caramelized yet. Buddy, I got up this morning at dark 30 and went out to the kitchen and stirred it. And I mean, I was drooling, put the bib on, had the towel wrapped around my mouth so I wasn't dripping on the floor. The whole Pavlovian dog response shit was going on. Holy hell.
Yeah.
And I got some Gruyere, going to shred that, put it in the ramekins, cover it with the Gruyere, throw it in the broiler, get a nice char on the cheese, nice melt on the cheese. And then I got baguettes. And they're going to get toasted off, and damn it.
Yep.
I'm
slapping mama.
I'm just going to do that. And we'll call it good.
There you go.
If we only had a podcast with smell, damn.
Right. That'd be the next thing. A podcast with video, Spotify. Thank you. We love it. But
yes.
Get that my goodness. Holy cow. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. I've been thinking about it since we talked about it on a previous episode. And I had to stop at the grocery kitty yesterday. I wanted to look for some stuff, and I happened to go by, and they had big piles of onions, and I said, okay, that's my sign.
There it is. Yep. I woke up this morning craving some meatloaf.
Yeah. So Jennifer had her goose clinic. We've talked about becoming an outdoor woman. Well, this past weekend was Jennifer's goose clinic. And my mom said, Jennifer's out of town. I don't know what we're having, but you're welcome to come for dinner. And I said, we'll see what's going on. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done. So she says, I'm having meatloaf, sweet potatoes, and all this.
Said, fuck it, I'm on my way.
Well, you don't pass up mom's meatloaf.
No, never.
Yeah, you never let your meatloaf.
No.
So I walk in the house, Ma, the meatloaf. Because I can.
Yeah. Yep.
And
perfect.
Spot on.
Perfect.
It was smack your son good.
Is what you were ducking.
Man, it was good. Holy hell, it was good.
Nice.
And so on the sidebar for meatloaf, you know, Dale has said how many times that he doesn't do meatloaf. Yeah. Sent me a text the other day. I want to try your meatloaf.
Say, of course you do.
Yeah, buddy. We're going
Yep.
to take care of that.
Yep.
We're going to have a little family dinner, and I'm going to create a meatloaf.
Heck yeah. I tell you, I think the game changer for me for meatloafs was the little individual loaves. Like that is just
that's the shit.
Did I tell you what I did the last time I cooked my meatloaf? Is I put it on. So the first time I smoked, not the first time I smoked it. I guess the first time I did the little individual ones on the smoker, the loaf was too wet.
Yeah.
And it sank as it cooked, it sank into the grate.
Yeah.
So then I took it off. Like you had that mess. So then I took some parchment paper and cut it so it's just big enough to go under the loaf and put that on there. Man, that worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So with your meatloaf, what do you use for a binder?
So I'm using
not a binder. Binder.
Yeah, so I'm using the recipe I have is it's not a full cup. It's like a half a cup of breadcrumbs and like a third of a cup of milk, and you let them sit. Like you mix them together, you let it sit, and the bread absorbs that. Yep. I remember the first time I did it, I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, this seems weird. And you let it sit for like 5 minutes. So I was like dicing up everything else to go into it, mixing my meat and the ingredients together. I was like, oh, I got to add the breadcrumbs back in. And now it's like this gelatinous mix. I was like, oh, that's why you do that.
Yep.
So I did that. And that worked out well. So,
yeah, it's, it used to be old school. I'd take bread and dice it up and use that as my binder. Then I went to crackers, started using crackers. And now I use instant mashed potatoes.
You've told me this before, and I forgot.
Yep. And I don't know what it is about that, but I add Worcestershire, an egg, either a mix of barbecue sauce and ketchup or just ketchup or whatever, salt, pepper, garlic. I saute my onions ahead of time, put them in. Those mashed potatoes absorb just enough moisture out of that meatloaf that it makes it nice and firm and shapeable and all that. And I think I prefer that over the breadcrumbs, over the cracker crumbs, over all that, just because of the texture. You get no potato taste, same as you don't get any bread taste or cracker taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works really well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
If you're baking it, do you glaze it? Do you glaze your meatloaf?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's just adds that not only flavor but appearance.
Yeah. And I used to be one of those guys that would you'd find a recipe for some sort of glaze to put on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why why make something when I can go and Sweet Baby Ray's, has something that's just as good. And I don't have to clean the measuring cups. I'm not using all that ketchup.
Your saucepan.
I'm not making this sticky mess.
Yeah.
In the kitchen on the stove, make a sticky mess somewhere else.
You're right. Yeah.
On the table as I'm eating it, it's covered. Yeah. But then I started using Sweet Baby Ray's, and it's just as good. I tell you, I had a buddy. The last time we made the individual loaves, he came over for dinner, and I had some because I don't think Harper likes the sauce. She doesn't like them glazed, so I'll make some with and some without.
Yeah.
And my buddy, he had one of each, and I was like, hey, like if you like, there's none with the sauce left. Like if you want one, like it's just this sauce. Like I'll throw it in the oven. We'll turn the broiler on. We'll make it tacky. He's like, what are you talking about? Like this is like it's just as good both ways. So
Yep. Yeah. When I make meatloaf like that, I make it 5 pounds at a time because vacuum seal and freeze 2 of those footballs. It's easy dinner.
Yeah.
You know, you run out of time at the end of the day. You're hungry. You want something quick and easy. You pop them out of the freezer. Done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just as good as, in fact, it may even be better because when you vacuum seal a smoked product, it just intensifies flavor.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
And damn, now I'm salivating over meatloaf, and I just had it.
Right. We did. I forget what it was for. A couple weeks, maybe it was last weekend, 2 weekends ago. I did a brisket.
Mm-hmm.
It was the real cheap brisket I found at Sam's. It was mislabeled.
Yes.
Fucking 17-pound brisket. That thing was huge. And we had some left over from that, and I vacuum sealed that. I haven't done it where I sous vide it back to temperature.
Mm-hmm.
But they're vacuum sealed with a little bit of beef tallow in there. So I'm looking forward to like, maybe I'll do it today. We're having leftovers for dinner. So listen to our leftovers. That sausage, Italian sausage, ditalini, pasta soup. We have chicken and dumplings, crock pot chicken and dumplings. And then I have like some fried rice, some other random stuff. Oh, and Rachel did a lentil soup. I can tell you what Daddy's not eating. No, absolutely not. But maybe I'll pull out a piece of that brisket and just sous vide it all day.
Oof.
Yeah.
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 You can't go wrong.
No.
And if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Right. Exactly.
The days that, I cook the majority of days.
Mm-hmm.
And there are days where I'll open up the refrigerator and go, yeah, today's a leftover day. We're not going to waste, the past 2 or 3 days worth of stuff. I know you're not a big fan of leftovers.
Yeah, I struggle. I'm doing better. It's like a 12-step process.
I am. And you're right. Right.
Yeah.
I like them to a point. And then I'm one of these guys. I always follow expiration dates. I always do that kind of stuff. It's just a thing. Mm-hmm. And the other day I had done chicken cordon bleu. I had done a venison roast. I had done a whole bunch of stuff, and they were starting to stack up. So Jennifer comes home. What's for dinner? I said, smorgasbord. We're going to open up the refrigerator. We're going to take what we want and do our own thing. Buddy, I have not had a meal of chicken cordon bleu, venison roast with potatoes and carrots and all that stuff. It was damn tasty.
I bet.
I'm just good. And ironically, I pulled out my last venison tenderloin to put in the crock pot for that. The next day, I added more venison to the.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. The drought is over for the year, so that's good.
Yeah. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah,
we're going to do an episode of me doing the chicken cordon bleu because it was.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah. The venison just reminded me. We got some venison from the Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
The girls were home, so they came over, and I know Delaney hadn't met Lincoln. Hannah had, but they came over. I was at work, and they were hanging out. And I guess before they came over, they called and said, "Hey, we have a bunch of venison. Would you like some? And Rachel's like, well, let me ask Ben. I'm not sure. I was like, the answer is always yes. If anybody is offering to bring us meat, the answer is always yes.
She knows you. She knows the answer is yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So she texted me and I was like, yes, please. Whatever they want to send us, we'll take it. And they even said, because I guess he's gone hunting quite a bit since Doug's retired. And I guess he's got a number of animals and like it's stacking up. So he's like,
yep.
And they know that like regardless of whatever we have, like if we're making something, like we'll invite them, like please come over. We love the families.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now we discussed them on another episode. They're fantastic people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got that. We've got some of the venison that my sister-in-law killed. And now it's all just kind of like, it's like, what are we going to make with it? So we might have, I might take some of that venison, some of that beef tallow, mix it all together and make a loaf.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
What do you use for your meatloaf? I know we've talked about it before.
As far as the ground goes,
yeah,
I use straight hamburger. I used to mix it with I would do the trifecta, and which is the shit. I'm having a stroke. The ground beef, the pork, and the
there's veal.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, then I just cut it back to just the two meats. And then I said, I just like it straight hamburger. And I don't necessarily do, typically for burgers and stuff, I like an 80-20. I want that fat content. For my meatloaf, I don't want that much fat.
Right.
Makes a mess at the end. It ends up sitting unless you put it on a rack like you did and let it drain. I'm talking about oven. I'm not talking about the smoker.
Yeah.
It sits in its fat and it makes the bottom soggy, all that. So I don't particularly like a lot of an 80-20. I do something with less fat content so it doesn't make mush in the bottom. Now, if I'm smoking it, don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We use, I'm still a big fan of the meatloaf mix, that pork, veal, and ground beef. Like it's just, and the nice thing is that it comes in a 1 pound container.
Correct.
Which is perfect. Like that's exactly what I need for what we're going to do. It's like, that's ideal for us.
Yep.
So,
I don't know, man. Now if someone makes it with the trifecta, I'm going to fill my face with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without a doubt. But when it comes time for me making it, it's just as simple for me to do the.
Yeah.
And I just like it. Holy shit. It's just tasty.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
See, now I want to make another meatloaf.
Right? Gonna add that to the list. I'd say that's what's for dinner tomorrow, but I'll be at work. Maybe we'll have meatloaf for dinner.
There you go.
Yeah.
Easy station meal right there.
That's right. I tell you, there's something about smoked meatloaf when you cut that thing open and you see your smoke ring.
See that ring, buddy.
In a meatloaf. You're like, fuck. Like in a solid mass of meat, when you pull it open and you see that smoke ring, like that's cool.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's what you expect.
Yep.
But when you see a smoke ring in ground meat and you cut it open, and there's something about it. There's just something about a smoked meatloaf it's just fantastic.
Yep. It sure as hell is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thankful to this day, and it's been, I don't even know how many years, that Josh gave me his smoked meatloaf recipe, and that changed how I did shit. It's just his whole process is basically what I follow now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yep. I'm gonna put the bib on.
Yeah, you're gonna need to again. Yeah. So, well, that's where we're going to wrap this episode up. Potpourri. Who knows what we talked about?
Bitched about the state of Maryland for a little bit, and then we moved on to more positive things.
That's right. We ended on a positive note. So thanks for watching. If you guys want to add something to the show, or you have comments, questions, whatever, send it our way. You can hit us up on our social media, waywardsouls88@gmail.com. If you're watching or listening through Spotify, you can comment on the show. They have the cool thing where they auto approve the comments unless you're using some kind of hieroglyphic or whatever, then we have to approve it. Nobody's getting turned away. That's all I have to say.
Right. Yep.
Even if you have a negative comment, fucking come on. I bet you can't. You don't want the smoke. No. You don't want it. I know Hickman. And I know the people that watch the show. You don't want it, but bring it. So, but thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy the show, and we'll see you soon.